Hello and welcome to Final Whistle this weekend. And of course, remember ya kwamba hii show inakuja kwa hisani ya Mcheza. Mcheza, pesa zako, ushindi wako. And of course, Mcheza, squeeze wako na daily millionaire jackpot. Visit mcheza.co.ke and place your bet on 7 matches with only 50 bob peke and either under or over. And of course, this week, tuko na Bill Omondi. Bill, welcome back to Final Whistle.
Thank you.
I remember tulishafanya hii kitu before. And let's just start it. Harambee Stars walienda Thailand na Iraq.
Yes.
What's wrong with Harambee Stars?
Okay, Harambee Stars, they perform dismally, like I always say. And I've talked about this before. I think we don't have a structure of play as Harambee Stars. You know, because you look at what coaches do out here. You look at the quality of players you have. Yeah, either speedy wingers or good defenders or lethal strikers, and you explore this kind of options. So there's a game you definitely expect us to play with the caliber of players we have as Harambee Stars. I've been watching their games for a while, yeah, and what I can say is I'm not really sure where to place them as a national team in terms of what kind of game they bring on the table. So you find that every other time we try something different and it's not working out, yeah. And I think that's one thing that's affecting us even for a very long time. Because if you look at the Harambee Stars that was playing a while back, yeah, I think you could see some structure in their game. And that's why we were able to comfortably win some games. Because you find that when your structure is more superior than what your opponent brings in, then you find that you are at a better level.
Yes.
And I think for Iraq and Thailand, these are teams we should have beaten. The expectation I was having on Harambee Stars, and especially the players they have, these players apparently in the individual teams, they're doing very well.
Yes.
But when you come together as a unit, but again, you don't have a particular structure that you're supposed to execute, then you find that teams like Thailand will still be beating you.
All right, wacha tusikie from Yoga. Yoga, tulienda Thailand na Iraq. We lost both games. Kuna shida wapi?
For Harambee Stars, shida Harambee Stars, it boils down to management and tactics.
Tactics, that is now the technical bench.
The technical bench. Harambee Stars needs a very experienced and more forthright technical bench.
But if we talk about experience, we've had the experience, Adel Lamrouche. We've had Bernard Lama. Name them. Jacob Gostumule.
Yeah.
All those names. Kevin Kimanzi. Washakuja hapa. They are more experienced.
Wamekuja, they have been there, but circumstances like the problem with football management in these countries, like I don't know, is it they don't like development, prosperity, or umetaja our coaches. Like for example, if I can ask you, has any of those coaches been at the helm of Harambee Stars for more than 2 years? No. But
Kimanzi, when he was at Harambee Stars, he made the national team to be on position 68 in the FIFA rankings.
Yes.
And a feat that we've never achieved since then.
But circumstances that led him to leave Harambee Stars, what were the circumstances that led him to? Like tukiangalia the way Harambee Stars has been playing within locality, like the Africa teams, their performance has been quite well and everything. But ukiangalia pia morale ya players and everyone, like these players need enticement. How do you expect like you come to play for Harambee Stars na mnapatiwa per diem ya like 700, 1,000 per day?
Let me ask this. Let's not now get into the technical bench and even the football management. Do you think such friendlies, playing the minions like Thailand, Iraq, do you think such friendlies are important?
You know,
forget about now we are getting negative results. Are they good for the players?
Like I said the other time, it is good for the players. It helps in build up. It helps in kupatia players morale. Like you at least go outside there, you experience the environment, the new environment that is there. You try and experience.
And even new food.
New food. But Harambee Stars going out there to play Iraq. You know, most people don't know like Iraq and Kenya On the FIFA ranking, they are the same. They share the same position at 88 with 400 points. So Harambee Stars going there and losing to Iraq, it was kind of ish. In fact, losing to Thailand.
Now,
it wasn't.
Bill,
I think one thing we need to do again with friendlies, we need to structure friendlies in such a way that they're helpful to the team. Because I don't see a point of taking a whole squad to Iraq or Thailand to eat new food and play in those stadiums. Yeah?
You had to mention
food. Of course. Food is important.
It's very important, but it determines how you're going to play.
I don't see the point of taking us all the way there. If there are teams even within our continent, very good teams, we haven't played with and we can't beat them. You know, I'd understand if we organize more local friendlies with better teams in the African continent, yeah, and especially West African teams, yeah. We organize better friendlies with teams around Africa.
So, in other words, you're saying to organize friendlies against Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, we get beaten, then we'll come back again and start complaining that.
But what's the sense of being beaten by Ivory Coast, but going to Thailand and being beaten either way? You know, I think I'm trying to focus more on what game are we playing.
Yes.
You know, and what kind of opponent is going to uplift our game.
Yes.
Yeah. So I definitely think instead of going for a weak opponent who's still going to beat you, why don't you take a strong opponent who's going to improve your game? And I think the dynamics of what kind of friendlies we are organizing should also matter. Because as a coach, you sit down and say, okay, I want my team to face this team because I think they have better stats on this and this and this. I want us to learn from them. So you go even get beaten 10-0. But at the end of the day, you sit down and say, we learned from this and this and this. These people played better here and here and here, and this is what we should improve. And you take a step forward.
Now, Kwanya, let's leave history here, Harambee Stars, because now ina aitaisha. Let's now talk about Dennis the Menace Oliech. This guy was a top striker for Kenya. Remember 2004 when he went to the Africa Cup of Nations, he scored against Burkina Faso. But I think 1 week ago, kulikuwa na story in the social media that he went broke. Now, Yoga, I know these are rumors.
Yeah.
What do you think about the rumors? Now, do you think it is right for us as football fans to start demonizing somebody like Dennis Oliech, who now uplifted our football for the last decade?
These rumors, for Dennis Oliech, people talking about him being broke, I think it's not right. Wanasemaga, what do they say about heroes? Heroes are never at their home.
Yes.
Like they are never celebrated at home. Oliech is somebody who has done a lot of things for Kenya. Taking us to African Cup of Nations, up to like that was like the first time like since the 70s he has played for Kenya. Remember, Oliech has been patriotic. There was one time Qatar as a country wanted to buy citizenship for millions and billions of dollars. But akakataa. So like if he was somebody greedy, angekuwa ameenda kitambo sana. Like but for us Kenyans, Kenyans like to, I don't know, gossip, kusengenyana.
Bill, let me ask this. There were rumors. We can't confirm whether he's broke or not. But do you think there's something that the current footballers can learn from this story now that likes of Olunga who have gone to China, Girona, and now Spain? Do you think there's something they can learn to start even saving so that they don't become broke in the future?
Yeah, and I think I'm talking also in the case, I was reading a few days ago that one of former top footballers, I think Peter Dow, he's also suffering and he has a medical situation that he's not able to come out from.
Yes.
So, number one, about the rumors and the people bashing Oliech, I think those are just Cerelac football fans. People who are just born the other day and all they woke up to was Manchester and Arsenal, and they don't know the history of Kenyan football or where Oliech has has taken us as a country in terms of football. So the issue about players and about how they manage their finances and everything else, I think we should also learn from other players outside there, and especially in terms of funds. You know, it's always assumed, and I think when footballers get into the game for the sake of money, I think it messes them up, because football will come to an end at some point. That's true. However good of a player you are,
yes,
there's a point that reaches that you can't play football.
Ukigonga 30 watu wanaanza kusema
exactly.
You retire.
Yes, and there's new young blood coming up, and we'll go for them definitely. But for a player, when you are also in the football field, take it as a career, yeah? But whatever you get from the football field, also explore other investment ventures, yeah? So you find that most even athletes in the world, they invest either in their brands or they sign deals with shoe companies that will keep them running even when they're out of the sport itself. So I think it's one thing as Kenyan players, they should also learn from that the money that comes into football, at some point, it will end when you stop playing. But what you do with the funds you get while you're still in the game matters a lot for your afterlife, after the game.
Now, before we take a break, let's now talk about Gor Mahia. Kogalo are really dominating the Kenya Premier League. I think a couple of weeks ago, Zoo, Kericho and Nakumatt were relegated, and they were now reinstated by a court order. Gor Mahia seem to be dominating Kenya Premier League. It's like they have outgrown Kenya Premier League.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why do you think Gor Mahia is just good for this league, Yoga?
Gor Mahia is just too good right now. The thing that makes Gor Mahia good right now is like in terms of team chemistry. Like if you look at the players that have been playing, majority of the players have been there for the last 3 seasons, so they know each other. Team management is well. Kuna squabbles that unasikia chairman sijui alifanya nini. They also have good sponsorship, so in terms of remuneration
and the fan base.
And the fan base.
Definitely.
The fan base, like I've not seen any passionate fans in Kenyan Premier League.
Very true.
As compared to Gor Mahia.
Bill, Kogalo, I know you support Kogalo very passionately. Are they just good for this league?
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about Kogalo, when you're talking about Kenyan football and you don't mention Kogalo, then it's invalid. It's null and void. Yeah, but also, I'd like to talk from the perspective whereby we see Gor Mahia is investing in football. And when you talk about bringing quality players to the team, you find that I was reading an article. There's a team in Kenya, I won't mention the name, but I think they are so ethnical in the way they choose players that a certain group of players from particular, let's say tribes, or I don't know where, cannot play in the team. Yeah, and I think that's one thing we should outgrow as Kenyans, because we want our league to be a top league, as usual. We want it to be an attractive league, even in Africa, so that when we are talking about football in Africa, and especially the African leagues, that our league is one of the best. So I think we should learn from the fact that Gor Mahia brings in quality players, even all around the continent, to be able to support the local players within that team.
Yes.
And you find that most of the local players, even in Gor Mahia, are playing the national team. Why? Because the quality is being built up from the kind of people they are playing within the team. So I think Gor Mahia is too good for
Kenya Premier League.
For Kenya Premier League.
Maybe they need Chelsea. All right. Wacha tukachukue break kidogo. Tukirudi, we want to now talk about the English Premier League and of course the UEFA Champions League matchday 3 that's resuming this week. Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, and of course Arsenal are playing on Wednesday. On Thursday, I should say, when we return. Welcome back to Final Whistle. Of course, remember hii show inakuja kwa hisani ya M-Cheza. M-Cheza, pesa zako, ushindi wako. Visit mcheza.co.ke and of course place your bet on the daily millionaire jackpot. Yani kila siku kuna opportunity safi sana ya kushinda donge nono kupitia M-Cheza. Daily millionaire jackpot. Place your bet on either under ama over na Kachwani pekee. Now guys, and of course remember, you can visit our social media platforms. Our Facebook page is Final Whistle, Instagram at Final WhistleKE, and of course on Twitter at Final WhistleKE. Now guys, let's now get into the league that most football fans love, the English Premier League. This weekend it is Liverpool versus Manchester United. Bill, it doesn't concern us, but let us just talk about it. Who is winning Liverpool versus Manchester United?
I don't want Manchester to win.
Neither do you want Liverpool to win.
I don't mind Liverpool winning, but particularly Manchester, no, I don't want them to win. But I think
reasons.
Okay, my reason basically is, I think for a while now, we've seen a lot of psychophancy from Man United fans. The fact that they've been winning games, yeah, technically.
4-0, 4-1s.
4-0 and 4-1s, yeah.
Over 2.5.
Yeah, they're talking so much, yeah. So I'd like it to be a humbling point for Manchester United.
Wanyamaze kidogo.
Wanyamaze kidogo, so they know that other teams still exist in this league. Yes.
So, if you have to call it?
If I had to call it, I'd go for a draw.
A draw?
Yes.
Now, a draw of GG or 0-0, you don't care?
I don't mind, as long as it's a draw.
Yoga,
yes.
I know Bill ametrash Manchester United sana.
Like ameongea about psychophancy.
Akaongea about
psychophancy.
And fanaticism.
No.
As if Chelsea doesn't have fanaticism.
All right. Liverpool wakiwakaribisha Manchester United Anfield. Do you think it's an easy game for Man United?
Manchester United, speaking of Manchester United has been playing well since the league started. They have won all the matches. They have won all of them. So it's just the same old. I don't expect much from Liverpool, but what I think Mourinho is going to do, we have been playing more of attacking football since Liverpool is a tough opponent. I think Mourinho will change his tactics to a defensive play.
So this is the game where we expect Ander Herrera and Fellaini to start.
Fellaini is not there. Fellaini is injured.
He's injured.
Yeah.
So Herrera will come.
Ferreira will be there. Probably Herrera. Sorry, Herrera will be there. He'll be assisted with my favorite,
Nemanja Matic.
Nemanja Matic.
So for you, United are winning this one?
Of course.
2-0, 2-1?
Probably 2-0.
2-0.
An upwards of 2 to 3 goals.
All right. Yeah. Now, that is Liverpool versus Manchester. Of course, you expect Yoga to say that United will win easily this one. Remember, Liverpool, against more or less bigger teams, they wake up. Now, let's get to Selhurst Park. Bill, Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Chelsea wamekuwa kistruggle kidogo. They're not the Chelsea that tulikuwa tunaona last season wakipiga teams proper. Walipigwa na Burnley at Stamford Bridge, wakatoka sare na Arsenal. The last game at Stamford Bridge walipigwa na Manchester City. Now they're going to Selhurst Park to play a winless Crystal Palace. Now, do you think Crystal Palace will start winning?
They don't stand a chance. Probably they might get a goal, but not winning. Yeah, because as of now, they're just helpless. And I can say that the level of football Chelsea is playing, despite even our injuries and our adversaries, we are still going to win at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. So of course I expect it to be a little bit tough of a match because they are at home, Crystal Palace. But at the end of the day, when the game settles, when the dust settles,
Chelsea will win. Now, Yoga, as we can now see on the screen, we have Manchester City wanacheza na Stoke City at the Etihad. That's another tough game. And of course, Brighton pia wanacheza na Everton, and Arsenal wanacheza na Watford. How do you think this game, Chelsea wakienda Selhurst Park, do you think Crystal Palace have a chance of beating Chelsea, the defending champions? Remember they beat them at Stamford Bridge last season? Yeah. But that Benteke was there.
Benteke was there. He's not going to be on this match. But this being a London derby, Selhurst Park, I think this is the time for Crystal Palace to redeem themselves. They don't have any points. They have not scored any goals. So maybe this will be their chance, maybe to win, to boost their morale as a squad. So I bank on them. It may be tough for them, but I still bank on them to pull an
surprise
upset.
Chelsea.
Pull an upset.
Of course, wamekuwa na very hard ride because wamecheza na Liverpool, City, Man United. Now it's Chelsea for them. And of course, apart from those games, tuko na Spurs pia wanacheza na Bournemouth, and of course Southampton pia wanacheza na Newcastle United. Those are games that you can watch on mcheza.co.ke, play live and watch live. Unaweza bet ya Arsenal, Chelsea. If you think, Premier League pia ni league ambayo inakuanga so interesting and a league of surprises. Tunaweza sema sahi Crystal Palace itapigwa na Chelsea, but after 90 minutes on Saturday, something else will be shocking to us. Now let's leave the Premier League. Let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Versus Spurs, I should say. Real Madrid versus Tottenham Hotspur at Santiago Bernabeu. Bill.
Yes.
Is it too easy for Real Madrid?
Not really. It's actually a very uphill task for Real Madrid. The fact that they've been struggling of late, and Real Madrid is one team that when they find their right clicks, they are a very good team. But when they are struggling and when they're going against Spurs, that is a very compact team, and they know their facts right. They know their kind of play. It will be a very difficult thing for Real Madrid, despite the high quality of players they have. But when it comes to now a team like Spurs, they'll find it difficult because they defend very well.
Tactically, they are good. Yeah,
tactically, they're very good. So I think if Real Madrid will win, and I use an if, it will be very difficult. Yeah, but for this, I think Spurs should give them a run for their money.
Now, Yoga, tactically Spurs are good. Yeah. You and I know that.
Yes.
But they're going to Santiago Bernabeu, to the home of champions. Yes. Do they stand a chance against Real?
Speaking of which, Tottenham have really surprised people this campaign season. They have come like surprise people, beating BVB. And now they are going to Santiago Bernabeu. Now that's now what I call a slaughterhouse. They are going to be brought back to reality. What if they decide to defend throughout the 90 minutes and wait Real Madrid on the counter? Because we know Spanish teams are very easy to beat on the counter. Yes. So what if they just sit back, relax and wait? Because tunawajua, Spurs are very good when it comes to counters. Talk about Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, Harry Kane scores goal. Wanyama is going to be missed here, but they are very lethal when it comes to counter-attacking. Probably with the defensive and counter-attack, they might surprise Real Madrid. But this is Real Madrid, and this is Santiago Bernabeu. We have the likes of Asensio. Isco is there, Modric is there.
CR7 is also back.
CR7 is there. Their wing-back, Marcelo is there. So, itakuwa like if they counter, Real counters. They counter, Real counters.
So that means kutakuwa na goals galore in this game.
Galore, and I don't expect Spurs will have a walkover.
At Stamford Bridge, kuna Chelsea versus Roma. Roma walitoka sare in the first game against Real Madrid at home, Olympic Stadium, 0-0. Chelsea went to Atletico Madrid. They won 2-1. Do you think this is the toughest opponent for Chelsea?
Okay, in this case, I can say they're the toughest because we've beaten the rest. So probably they're still the only team that is posing a threat. Yeah, and also it's Champions League, so these assuming are the best teams in Europe that are playing. So I don't expect it to be easy for Chelsea because again Roma are a good team. But the fact that we are at home, we are more relaxed. We are on top of the group, so I think we stand a better chance of winning this game. And considering Roma and Atletico, their mojo is not on, I can say, because I expected us to have a tough time in this group. But as at now, it looks easy. Yeah, it looks easy. So probably they're the only ones that are still threatening us, but we'll beat them.
Now, Yoga, so far in the Premier League, Chelsea wamepoteza 2 games against City, Burnley, and of course wametoka sare na Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Do you think that factor can work against Roma?
Yeah, the factor can work. Chelsea have not been on their best form when playing at home. So the struggle is real. So Roma coming there, maybe they're coming to give Chelsea the run for their money. As I've always said, previously they were in Europa, so they came back to Champions League. So it is their time to redeem themselves. Chelsea, beginning of the campaign, Chelsea had Karabag, which was an easy game for them. Atletico came. I expected that Atletico.
A game that was easier for Atletico then. But Chelsea
turned the table. But Shuai came there and Akafugabao the last minute. So for me, I think Roma is going to give Chelsea the run for their money. So probably I would prefer a draw.
Guys, before we wrap it up, ningependa kusikia maneno ya mwisho. Bill, nianze na wewe. What's your final take from the show today?
Yeah, I think we've had a good time in the show. Talking about football, of course, it's always a pleasure. And especially about our teams, other teams, and local football in Kenya.
Yes.
I think it's a great thing we're doing.
Yeah.
So let's keep the conversation on social media. Let's engage other football lovers and sport lovers out there, so that together we can have better talks about
sports. Itulete pamoja.
Definitely.
Yes. Apart from what politics is doing. Yes. Now, Yoga.
Yes.
Final take.
My final take is David Kidogo, but I'll come back locally in terms of the Harambee Stars. People, we are bashing them too much. I believe we need to give them time. And also, when we were talking previously, when Bill was talking previously, I think Harambee Stars now need to think about strategy. They need to come up, like when they are fixing their friendly matches, they should come back and look for these quality teams. Like they can go to West Africa, we can even go down south.
All right, fantastic stuff. Tumekuwa hapa for fun, and of course tumeenjoy. Bill, I hope next time tukikuita utarudi.
Definitely, I'll come back.
And Yoga, of course, is a resident panelist on the show. And of course, until next time, you can visit our social media platform. Facebook page is Final Whistle, and of course on Twitter at Final WhistleKE, on Instagram at Final WhistleKE. Mimi nimekuwa Kwanya Joshua.